is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1.
Yeah!
Player 2.
Yeah!
Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories: literary pets, trading places, science, tongue twisters, ships, and celebs. Where do we begin, player 1? The titled beast of The Hound of the Baskervilles is actually the pet of Mr. Jack Stapleton. Yes, player 1? You are correct. Player 1. Harry Potter uses his snowy owl named this to transfer messages. Yes, player 1? Good for you. Player 1?
Yeah!
Answer. It's the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. What are you going to wager? The clue. Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' The Yearling centers on this type of pet. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. Player 1. Little Swan, Little Bear, and Greenfinch are some of the goats of this Johanna Spiri lass. Player 1. That is correct. Please pick again. A poetic Elliot feline who has lived many lives in succession is named for this fifth book of the Old Testament. Yes, player 1? Yep. Player 1, back to you. Jimmy will present this clue.
Near two major rivers, this Missouri city was founded as a fur trading post by Pierre Leclerc in 1763.
It's player 2. That is correct. All right, let's get... Frankfurt's Rossmarkt was a site for this type of animal trading, also a term for hard bargaining. Okay, player 1. Yep. A lot of clues. Located on this continent, the Kanem-Bornu Empire lasted 1,000 years by being a center of trade. Let's hear it, player 1. That is correct. Player 1. This city's Grand Bazaar was built in 1461 by Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror. Yes, player 2. That's right. Way to go. A lot of clues. From its founding in 1898 until 1919, this exchange was known as the Chicago Butter and Egg Board. It's player 1. Yes. Where do we begin, player 1? The name of this one-celled protozoan comes from the Greek for change. It's player 3. That's correct. Where do we begin? Every second, fusion reactions in the sun convert about 600 million tons of this element into helium. It's player 1. That's correct. Player 1, you start us off. Edward Doisy won a 1943 Nobel Prize for synthesizing this hemorrhage-inhibiting vitamin. Isn't that special? Player 1? That's right. Way to go. You get to pick again. Of the three basic rock types, the type that was once one form but has changed to another due to heat and pressure. Okay, player 3. You are correct. Where do we begin? And I'll hand it off to Jimmy.
On the sunward side of the Earth, these bands are compressed by solar winds. On the other side, they can stretch farther.
It's player 2. That is correct. Player 2, where do we start? She sells seashells by this location. Okay, player 1. Yeah, good. All right, in Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, these windy storms hardly ever happen. Okay, player 2. Right. Player 2. One of these animals sat on a stump, and thunk the stump stunk. Yes, player 2. That's it. Player 2. These animals shouldn't sleep in a shack. These animals should sleep in a shed. Player 1. Yes. Player 1. The sawingest saw I ever saw was the saw I saw in this land of opportunity state. Let's hear it, player 3. Right. Where do we begin, player 3? The submarine USS Nautilus was the first ocean-going vessel to use this form of power. Yes, player 2. That's right. Way to go. All right. In 1838, the Sirius became the first steamship to cross this ocean using steam power alone. Player 3. Good. Where do we begin? On a sailing ship, these can be buntlines, downhauls, or sheets. Okay, player 3. You are correct. You again, player 3. Apollo 15's command module was named in honor of this ship commanded by Captain James Cook. It's player 2. Good. Where do we begin? Before its name was changed, this ship of Sir Francis Drake was known as the Pelican. Yes, player 1? Yes. Player 1, where do we start? This Spider-Man and Cider House Rules star is pals with Leonardo DiCaprio. Player 2. Right you are. All right, let's get... In 2010, this talk show hostess replaced Paula Abdul as a judge on American Idol. Okay, player 3. Right. All right, despite an interruption from Kanye, she won for Best Female Video at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. It's player 3. Yep. Player 3. This star of The Princess Diaries and The Devil Wears Prada has the same name as Shakespeare's wife. It's Player 2. Right. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. She must have been in seventh heaven when her autobiography and I Am Me CDs both reached #1. Okay, Player 2. Yes. Player 3 is going first in Double Jeopardy when we come back following this. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. World capitals. Adjectives. Presidential families. Literary characters. The British invasion. And sea life. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 3, you make the next selection as we continue. Budapest is the capital of Hungary. This is the capital of Romania. Player 1. Yep. Player 1. The capital of India is not pronounced Calcutta or Calicut, but this way. Let's hear it, Player 1. That is correct. Player 1.
Yeah!
Answer. The first of the daily doubles. And you're in the lead now. How much are you going to wager, Player 1? Here is your clue. This world capital is on the island of Java. That puts you even further ahead. You again, Player 1. Laid out in 1874, the botanical gardens in this capital have an observatory with a statue of Tycho Brahe. Yes, Player 1? Hey, you're right. You again, Player 1. This city on the Malay Peninsula is the capital of Malaysia. Okay, Player 2. That's correct. Player 2, start us. This adjective precedes grace in the name of a hymn. Let's hear it, Player 3. That's it. All right, let's get back. From the Latin for falling down, it's used to describe a tree that sheds its leaves annually. Player 2. That is correct. Player 2, you start us off. From the Latin for flowing, it means able to speak or write smoothly as a foreign language. It's Player 2. That is correct. Player 2. This adjective that means weirdly frightening comes from the Old English for cowardly. Yes, Player 3? That's correct. Player 3? This 10-letter adjective meaning extraordinarily great in size comes from the Latin for to shake. Okay, Player 1? You got it. Where do we begin, Player 1? His daughter Margaret was born in Independence, Missouri. Yes, Player 2. Yes. Player 2. This 26th president's youngest son, Quentin, was killed in air combat during World War I. Player 1. Good. A lot of clues. He married his second wife, Edith Bowling Galt, during his first term. It's Player 1. Good for you. We return to you.
Yeah!
The second daily double. You are currently in the lead. How much? Answer this. This 8th president's wife, Hannah, died of tuberculosis in 1819. Congratulations, you're still in first, Player 1. You get to pick again. His son married Mary Catherine Helen in the White House on February 25, 1828. It's Player 3. Yep. Where do we begin, Player 3? Had a whale of a time in 1851. Pequod problems. Call him this narrator. It's Player 1. Right you are. Player 1. Famous foundling. Psychs himself out. Title taught. It's Player 2. Good. Where do we begin, Player 2? LAPI, okay? Chandler's champ slept big, and his goodbye was long. Player 2. Yep. We return to you. Time-traveling Dresden dude. He wasn't a Puritan. A Vonnegut check. Let's hear it, Player 2. That is correct. You get to pick again. As a gem of a brother. Atticus, Atticus. Sweet Home, Alabama. Okay, Player 3. Yes. Player 3. You're in command of the board as we... The first track on the Beatles' second album was a Chuck Berry song that told this composer to roll over. Okay, Player 3. That's it. We return to you. Here's Sarah. She'll show you.
Brian Jones played the humble kazoo on this band's 1967 Between the Buttons album, though not on the hit Ruby Tuesday.
Yes, Player 2. Correct. All right, let's get... The searchers told us that Madame Ruth had a pad down on 34th and Vine where she sold this. Let's hear it, Player 2. That's it. Player 2. Choose again. This man's pacemakers included Leslie McGuire, John Chadwick, and Freddie Marsden. Player 3. Yes. All right, let's get... Reg Presley not only sang lead on this Troggs hit, he played the ocarina as well. Yes, Player 2. Yes. Player 2. Where do we start? This herring-like pizza fish is attracted by light, so it's fished at night. Okay, Player 2. That's it. Player 2. Here's Sarah to start us off.
Sad to say, walruses as well as elephants were often hunted to get this valuable material.
It's player 3. Good for you! Okay, let's get back in. The skin of an octopus contains cells called chromatophores that allow it to do this when excited. Okay, player 3. Right. Player 3. Shovel, slipper, and spiny are species of this creature of the order Decapoda. Yes, player 2. Yeah, good. And now the $2,000 clue. This white whale related to the narwhal is the only whale that can bend its neck. Player 3. Yes. Looks like you'll all be moving on to Final Jeopardy after this break. Consider your wagers carefully as you think on this category. Islands. You need to select your wager. All right, players, this is what it comes down to. Here is the Final Jeopardy clue. In 2003, Emily Rose Christian became the first baby born on this island in 17 years, bringing the population to nearly 50. What did you put as your response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? What did you put as your response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? What did you say? And this correct response will add how much to your score? This makes you our new champion, player 1, so congratulations. We'll see you next time.